Hi, and welcome back to another Stampin' on Friday episode. Today we're going to be using one of my new paper tray ink stamp sets. It's called In the Meadow, and I went ahead and already die cut the tree that's in this set, and this is the tree right here. So I already die cut that just to save a little bit of time, and I have that right, I have a couple of them cut out because I'm going to do a couple of these cards. Right here, and I'm going to use the stamp that goes with that and some peeled paint ink. So this is the peeled paint distress ink, and I'm going to ink this up really well, but I don't want it to be a solid image. As a matter of fact, I'm having a hard time even getting it to be a solid image, which is okay because the way the design of my card is, I really don't want it to be solid. So I'm just inking this up really well. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp my image, and let me just ink this up a little bit more because I could see the lines from the stamp set, or the ink on the stamp. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and line this up, and I'm sorry if I go off screen, I just need to see what I'm doing here. I'm using a piece of craft cardstock. This measures 3.5 by 4 3/4. And what I'm going to do is just take my tree here and put it right in place here, because I'm going to go ahead and stamp the snowman that comes with the set. And let's see, where did I put that? It's right here. So I'm going to stamp my snowman right next to my tree, and I'm going to do this in Versamark ink and then emboss it with white embossing powder. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp my snowman. Set my tree to the side, and then I'm just using, this is some Zing white embossing powder. And then I'll just go ahead with my heat gun and set this. Okay, so I embossed my snowman, and then I went ahead in the Meadow stamp set are these little set of snowflakes. So I just did the Fresh Snow paper tray ink pad and stamped just the snowflakes in the background of my craft cardstocks here. So the next thing I want to do is, my Christmas tree is still a little wet from the peeled paint ink, so I'm just going to take my heat gun and just heat set this real quick. Okay, so I went ahead and finished drying up my ink, and now what I'm going to do is just take my Versamark ink pad and kind of go right along the edges of my tree here and ink that up with a little bit of Versamark, because I'm going to go ahead and put some white embossing powder on this so that it looks like there's snow on the tree. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on. And some of it does still stick to the distress ink, so you kind of get a little extra there. And I'm just going to go ahead and emboss that. And that's going to get, just put some dimensionals on the back of that, and that's going to pop up right there. So let me grab my dimensionals, and I'll stick a couple on the back. But before I adhere this down, I am going to go ahead and tie a nice little bow on this. So I'm using, for my pattern paper, it's the Authentique Wonder paper pad, and I've never tried the Authentique papers before, but I really liked the design and colors of this. So I thought I would purchase this and give it a try for the holidays, and I really like the quality of the pattern paper. So I have a piece of the pattern paper, and this is cut at 5 by 3 3/4, and that's going to get layered right onto here. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that down. So that'll go just like that. And then I went ahead and tied a bow already, only because I'm not the best at tying bows. So I tied it in advance. And I'm just going to go ahead and slip this on. And that goes right here. So just tighten it up a little bit. And then I'm going to just trim these tails. And I'm not using the best scissors for this. This is my kind of scissors that I use for cutting adhesive and stuff like that, but it was the closest one in reach. Alright, so that's my bow. The next thing I'm going to do then is put my tree down. Make sure my bow is straight before I adhere my tree. And my tree is going to go right here, just like that. So the next thing I want to do is get my card base. And my base card is a piece of craft cardstock. It's an A2 size card, which means it's a 5.5 by 4 1/4 inch card. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the inside. And from that same stamp set, I have the In the Meadow We Will Build a Snowman. So I'm just going to put that right on my block. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to Versamark this one. I was going to do that fresh snow ink, but that does take a while to dry. So I'm going to do the Versamark. So I'm going to stamp this right in the center. And then we'll use the white embossing powder again. And then I'll go ahead and heat set that. So there's our sentiment. And then I'm going to go ahead and, I had a little, my paper trimmer is getting a little worn out, so I'm getting a little frayed edges there. So I'm going to now go ahead and take my front of my card and I'll adhere that down. The last thing I'm going to do to my card here is add a little Viva Decor pearl pen, and I'm just going to do some red dots on my little tree here. And then just to kind of flatten them out a little bit, I'm just going to tap the back of my card here. And that's my card for today. Thanks for watching another episode, and I'll see you next time.